Hey, everybody, and welcome to the Disc Golf Show, episode number 13. This episode is brought to you in part by Final Nine Sports with their two locations here in California, and that would be in Orangevale and Rockland. Shop local, because you know you should. My name is Justin. With me today is this guy.
I'm Nick. That's me.
And we're going to be talking about some disc golf stuff. We have a fantastic show full of stuff to talk about, as annotated by the three
I thought we were tasting some new sodas.
No, that was an April Fool's joke.
Yeah. Or was it?
Or was it?
Dun,
It
dun,
was.
dun.
Yeah. It was. As yummy as the bacon soda was.
Oh, man. It was fun.
Or not.
It was fun. All right, let's get rid of the little stuff.
Okay,
I can't say little stuff. I can't say little stuff because it's all important. It's all important.
It's news.
Yes, exactly. Before we get to the meat of the show, I should say. Schustericks.
Yes, the Schustericks.
By the time you're listening to this, should have child number 2. So congratulations. I believe it's a little girl this time.
Oh.
So
right
shout out to the Schustericks. Congratulations.
Congratulations.
On your new edition.
Yeah.
Kristin announced another partnership. Now she is racking these things up.
Kristin who?
Kristin Tattar.
Oh.
Kristin Tattar.
Oh, I wasn't quite sure who you were talking about.
She partnered up with a top law firm in Estonia. It's called RASK.
Okay.
She ended up actually while she's been on injury and everything, so she's done some other stuff, right?
Does it have the exclamation point on it too? RASK with the exclamation point? Like, is that like the name, like it's in there?
No, I think I might have put that there.
Oh, okay. Because it kind of looked like the game Risk with the thing.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
But it's just like somebody from Estonia trying to say Risk.
No, it's RASK.
We're going to play the game.
I mean, I'm probably pronouncing that wrong too.
Yeah.
RASK.
Yeah.
Like,
Probably,
that is not how you pronounce
that's
it.
not how you say it. It's potato.
Yeah, exactly.
What? Way off.
So while she's been on injured leave, she went to an event where she spoke with the president and first lady of Estonia as well.
Ooh.
And we did forget last show, but she had an updated logo.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
She's
New brand.
released. Yeah, she rebranded. She was released. She has her own website, KristinTattar.com, with clothes. So if you want to go support her, go check that out.
Yeah. I'll have to look into that.
Yeah, and she also just did this quick little retreat and left her phone, social media off for a few days out on this island that she went to kind of recenter herself, I guess.
Good. Yeah. We all kind of need that from time to time. You know what I mean?
I need it. I need it.
Like after we do a show, I kind of need one.
Yeah.
I need this like recoup time away from Nick.
Me. Yeah. I knew that was coming.
Yeah.
So shout out to Kristin Tattar .com.
.com.
And then also, if you haven't heard, they inducted some new inductees into the World Disc Golf Hall of Fame.
Cool.
The first one that popped up on my feed was good old Scott Stokely.
Mr. Stokely.
Yeah, so he popped up there. And then after further investigation, looked in there, Leonard Muse.
Who?
So
Just kidding.
yeah.
I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
Just kidding.
OTB designer, Leonard Muse.
Yeah. That guy? Who's that guy?
Chris O'Cleary, Terry Calhoun, and Mike Hughes.
Yeah.
All got inducted into the World Disc Golf Hall of Fame.
Congratulations. Well deserved.
Congratulations. Another quick shout out to Kale Leiviska. He just tied, and you probably might have heard this, just tied the man, the champ, Ken Climo, for winning A-tiers consecutive years in a row. 19. So he's got next year, he could actually get a record away from the
20.
champ.
Now, is it the same one that the champ
and they're all
win? Or is it a different course?
No, it's just having won an A-tier. Okay. Yeah.
But make sure we clarify.
Yes.
Because people like to call things out. Oh, and I almost forgot. This show is also sponsored by the Pinecrest Flex.
If you know, you know. Yeah. So, yes.
Yeah.
19 A-tiers in a row, at least one A-tier a year.
That's pretty cool.
So he's going to be gunning for that record next year. So shout out to Kale. just today actually announced mid-season, which is like a first, if I can think about it, like thinking back, I think it's might be the first time that I've heard this happen. Mid-season manufacturer announcement.
Yeah, a change.
Well, yeah, and we don't know what that change is yet, but
We'll find out.
it's coming from KJ USA. So Kevin Jones is leaving Prodigy after 5.5 years. He did a little teaser saying news to come.
Right.
So keep your eyes and ears peeled for that news as to where he may end up. Now, I'm thinking he just might go 100% DJ. He's just going to be the DJ of the Pro Tour.
Yeah, you think so? Okay.
No, I don't think so. But, you know, it sounds, you never know. Depends on how, you know, is his love for DJing as much as disc golf? Is it slightly more?
I've heard that his secondary passion is baking. And that leads me to believe that he might be the very first PDGA Tour official baker.
You're making that up.
I made all of that up. I have no idea if that's the case.
So where do you think,
Probably
if he is staying, which I'm sure he is, playing,
Disc
competing,
golf bread.
where do you think, he's making the bread?
Making the bread.
Maybe he will be making that bread wherever he moves to.
Yeah, with his new sponsor. I'm sure.
So where do you think, if you think you know or have an idea, comments down below. Let us know where you think Kevin Jones is going to move.
Why do you think he's leaving mid-season? That's
leaving
like
Prodigy?
You said, that's odd.
It's unusual. It's very unusual.
So why was the contract just happened to be up?
Maybe he was free agent. Maybe he got bought out. Well, here's the thing. I've heard a couple people go, well, he hasn't been producing very well lately with Prodigy. So they kind of made it sound like, did Prodigy let him go? And I'm like, I don't think so.
No, because they don't really have a history of doing that.
No, they don't.
So it had to be something like somebody came in, they're like, hey,
yeah, maybe somebody bought his contract out. Yeah.
Yep. I'm thinking that's probably it.
You never know. So where do you think he's going to go? Yeah, probably.
Either that or he's going to be making disc golf cornettis. One of the
or maybe he's just going to be the seasoned DJ for the DGPT. Maybe he's getting paid to DJ. I mean, he's got to be getting paid to DJ when he DJs there.
He makes musical cornettis.
Oh, jeez.
Okay.
All right. Next item.
I just want a cornetti.
Shout out to the New Jersey Jam. It's at the Rutgers course. It is this year's 50th anniversary of the Jersey Jam, and the first one that being held in 1974. And shout out to
Ken,
our very own.
You can see this here, KenUPutt.
Yep. If you need some training,
hit him up. I'll put links in the show notes below.
So there have been a couple videos that have popped up, and actually one that I just saw today as well. That I'll include here as long as I don't forget. First one is Simon released, now this is probably 2 or 3 videos ago now, yes. I think. Simon released a video where we did mention a couple shows ago of the machine that threw a disc. I think it was 1,300 and some odd feet, right?
This is a different machine, though.
This is a different machine.
Completely different.
Mind you, by one of the guys who works on the BattleBots.
Which is super cool.
Show, which is really awesome. So this guy created this machine because Simon said it's been basically a year in the making of a machine to throw discs, right? Consistently throw discs. So he had the guy out to Maple Hill. They tested some, I think not only Maple Hill, but I think they went somewhere else as well to kind of like play with it a bit with putters and such. But what I took from this, and we've discussed this, is having this machine, and it was extremely consistent. They did it outdoor at this little park. They did it indoors.
Right.
And then they took it to Maple Hill as well.
Yep.
I think the best way to move forward, Simon, listen, please, and I'll message you about this. You need to do this.
Yes.
It's the it was Lizotte versus the Bot was the video. Now, having this and seeing as how flight numbers are definitely subjective
And
depending on the manufacturer.
It's all over the place. So
yeah.
I specifically have a secondary kind of video that I do on the channel where I tell you all of the newly approved pieces of equipment from the PDGA. And it's from several, any manufacturer that has anything approved, right? And at least the discs, that you can actually download all of the data off of their website for every disc, like all of the dimensions, size, whatever, right? Into a spreadsheet. And I've nerded out on that thing quite a bit. And what you'll notice is there is a specific lack of consistency of flight ratings and flight numbers for the discs. They're all over the place.
Yeah.
And it comes down to what the manufacturer at the end of the day wants to say is the numbers for these discs, what the flight ratings are for these discs. And
that being whoever they choose that works for them to throw it, right?
Or some companies just do it in between whatever discs they already have.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes.
Comparatively to what they have. Right.
Yep.
And it comes down to ultimately what the manufacturer says. If the manufacturer says that a Speed 3 disc is a mid-range, that's what they consider a mid-range.
Yeah.
Right. Like, and there's been a couple people on those videos too, like that flight numbers. No, no, the manufacturer says this is what constitutes their mid-range or their fairway or their driver or high-speed driver, whatever it is, because ultimately that's the only way that you can tell is what they tell you it is.
Yep.
So that's why I make it a point to say, hey, here's what the flight ratings are from the manufacturer.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
It's not from me. It's from the manufacturer because that's the only way. There's no consistency. So back to your point.
So moving forward, there's a couple ways that this could be handled. Simon, again, what you need to do, and the gentleman from BattleBots, make 20 of these.
Right.
Because once you have the program in there, right? You set it, you duplicate the machine, you're good.
Yep.
Actually, I think both of these need to happen.
Okay.
Sell them to every single manufacturer.
Yes.
Right? One. Sell them to every manufacturer should have one of these. Right. As long as they get to a certain size manufacturer, right, at that point. Right. Because the smaller ones could send them to somebody. Maybe they send them to Simon or the guy from BattleBots, and he does these things for them.
Or they send them to the PDGA.
And the PDGA should have the same one. Because that way, again, consistency is key. You have the manufacturer test them on the machine, that everybody has the same program, the same machines to test these things on, same speed, same rotation, all that stuff. Right. Then when it gets sent to PDGA, they have that machine as well, so they can confirm whether or not the data that was sent to them from the manufacturer after doing it their machine matches.
Now,
and then we have a consistent way to do flight numbers.
Absolutely. And I like that idea, obviously. However, we do make it sound easy because there's other things that come with that. Yes, you have the machine.
Yeah.
And you have to set it up a certain way, and you have to decide on what's the RPM, what's the speed. So you're going to have to pick an average, I guess, right? The average player would probably be at this RPM, this speed, or pick a middle road between we don't want it all the way at pro, we don't want it all the way at the beginner, we want it here, right? Wherever that here is needs to be universal, right?
Yeah.
Then not just the machine has to be set up and all the firmware and software has to be the same. The way that you capture the flight of that disc has to be the same. So there has to be parameters set up for how high do you have the camera, where's the camera in relation to where the machine is.
That's true.
So that the angle that is captured can then be put on a grid to give you the rating of positive, negative, glide, fade, turn, all that kind of stuff, right? Speed, right? To get up to the optimal, flight path or whatever, which will give you that rating, right?
It should be indoor too.
And indoor to try to cut out wind.
Yes.
Right?
Yep.
So all of these things have to happen, which is that is complicated.
It's a lot.
Not saying it can't be done. No. It's just all of those things will have to be considered, and then a standard will have to be made and kind of just stamped into the ground. This is what we do, and it has to be agreed upon.
Yeah. I mean, listen, the bigger manufacturers, it's you can do that.
And then here's the thing, maybe is that the PDGA is ultimately the one that has to have one of these things and has to have the setup to be able to do this kind of thing. Would that slow down the approval? Probably.
A little bit,
worth it?
Maybe.
Absolutely. because then you would have consistency. When I say this is a speed 10, glide 5, turn 2, fade 4, whatever, that means the same thing across every manufacturer. Right?
Well,
that would
how
be
about this?
so nice to have.
Worst case scenario, the PDGA has one.
Right.
Then the manufacturers can say these are the flight numbers. The PDGA can retort and say, hey, actually, we think it's this.
Right.
So do you agree? If not, why? Blah, 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 blah,
So
blah.
I think either you do that one of two ways.
And that's how you could start.
You make the manufacturers have them to give the numbers to you that way, right? The bigger manufacturers are going to get one of these machines just so that they can turn it in and make the process faster, right? Mm-hmm. If it's a certified machine, I send you the digital results that came from that software from the machine. PDGA doesn't even have to test it. This is what it is, right? Now, if you're a smaller manufacturer, you can't afford that machine because that sounds expensive to me and very cost prohibitive. You send your disc into the PDGA to get it approved. That costs money already, but then you send them a little extra and they do all that for you.
That would be,
That would probably be the optimal way to do it, right? You have a piece of software that validates so that we don't have to do double testing to save time. And if you don't have one and we have to spend the extra time, you pay the PDGA to do that service for you. Or you pay one of these bigger manufacturers to do that for you. Maybe you can work out a deal, right? And they send them the results or whatever the case may be.
The smaller manufacturers, a lot of them, those discs are made by the bigger manufacturers. So they could already do that ahead of time.
But there are manufacturers that are smaller that don't have that, and they're not going to have the means. It's going to be very cost prohibitive for them, right? So then you do it that way. Either way, end of the day, there needs to be a standard and a machine that can be consistent within a very small margin of error would be way better than how we're doing it now.
Yeah. I think, and the other thing too is originally when we were discussing this, we were talking about, well, what about pros? Pros don't care about the numbers, to be honest with you. I don't think they give a crap about what the numbers are on the disc. They care about the flight, and that's it.
It gives them an indication of what it might do.
Yes.
And then when they throw it, then they figure it out.
Yeah.
No pro is going to go out to a field and play in a tournament with brand new discs they've never thrown before.
Yeah, they always throw a few. Yeah, exactly.
Right?
They have to throw
You're
it to
figure out what it is.
Whether it's a backup or not, they've thrown it a couple times at least, just to know that they can rely on it.
Hey, this disc is going to do this thing.
I think this is a big step in the consistency of the tools for the sport that needs to be implemented.
Absolutely. And PDGA, if you need ideas on how to run this program, you just let us know, man. We're full of ideas. Okay, we'll make this happen.
99% of them probably junk.
But you know what? And our consultation fee is real small.
Yeah, they could lead to something good. You never know.
Real small. Might even be zero.
Another video was a recent documentary mini doc about Valerie Mandujano.
I have not seen this
It's called Rise and Shine. It's just kind of about her injury and how she dealt with it and overcame it when she messed up her ankle last year.
Right.
It's really cool. Corey Merle.
Yeah.
AKA Johnny Disc Golf. He put this together with Kevin Hoover. So go check it out on YouTube. Just look up, if you want to look up Valerie Mandujano, it's Valerie, not Valarie. So Erie, Mandujano, Rise and Shine.
Link description below.
Yeah, check it out. And it's cool because it shows her support system that she has, because you need that when you go through something like that, you know.
Absolutely.
But she came back strong. So, and you should know that by now if you follow disc golf.
Yeah,
but that, and then the other one that I just recently saw is there's a multi-part documentary coming out on Paul McBeth.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I just saw it posted. So I'm really interested. Okay. It's going to be on DGN/Jomez. So it's a production from Jomez.
Wow. Okay.
So looking forward to that. Keep your eyes peeled on that. There was a teaser that's already been put out. So check that out.
That's cool.
Now. Actually, we'll do one other thing before we get into our stuff. Okay. The team captains for the 2024 President's Cup were announced recently. Last week, I believe it was. There is the Team Europe versus Team USA, as always. There are a total of 10 participants and the captain.
Mm.
Now, the captain on Europe is Seppo.
Yep.
Payu. Team captain USA,
Ulibarri.
The captain is the captain.
The captain. Makes sense.
Paul Ulibarri. So as for now, there are still 4 places that each of the teams have to fill.
Right.
Currently on Team Europe, you have, surprise, Kristin Tattar, unless these things change depending, right, on in unexpected events.
Right.
Evelina Salonen, Simon Lizotte. Oh, man, he's still Team Europe. That's okay.
Yeah, that's fine. Trader.
Vaino Makala.
Just kidding.
Jakub Semrad. And then on Team USA, you have Owen Scoggins, surprise. Missy Gannon, surprise. Calvin Heimberg, Gannon Burr, Ricky Wysocki, and Eagle McMahon as of now.
Right. Super strong team there too.
Yeah. So the ones that have to get filled still are a fan vote.
Right.
So you'll be able to have assisted in choosing one of the players.
Popular vote.
The captains get their own specific choice.
And then 2.
And then 2 reserve players.
There you go.
Now, the question I have, though, is I look at this and I go, okay, there's a captain's choice. Shouldn't the captain choose, like, the team? Like, granted, you qualified, there's qualifiers, I believe, to even be able to get on the team, right? There are those things in place. But as the captain, I would think you'd get more than one vote, one player to vote to have on the team.
Well, how much did they get to pick the team that's already there?
I was curious about that. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know.
They could have had a say in all of them.
But when it says captain's choice, to me, that makes it look like, oh, these guys are in, but the captain has a choice on this particular person.
Maybe it's a captain's choice and nobody can say no to the captain.
Maybe
choice.
That's it. Yeah, maybe that's it.
Right.
I would like to learn more about how this the behind the scenes part.
Ulibarri was like, well, Nick Sears. Nick Sears.
I would be like, no, you do not want me. I appreciate it. You do not want.
We're bringing in the ringer. Bringing in the ringer.
So you've got those are your teams right now. So keep your eyes peeled as to what those 4 other empty spots will end up being.
Pretty cool.
Who do you think who would you like to see in either the fan vote? Who do you think that the captains will choose? And who do you think would be 2 good reserve players, whether it's FPO or MPO? Because I'm guessing one of them's FPO and one of them's MPO. So who are your reserve players?
Should get the champ.
You think that he should pull Climo out?
I think so. If you
what
think
about
about
Doss? What about Nate?
He let me down during the Beavers tape split.
Hey, dude. He had some clean drives, though, Dude.
You know.
He was fun to watch, you know? And it's his first tournament back in like 5 years, man.
I expected excellence and nothing but excellence.
Yeah, Nate.
I'm just kidding. It was fantastic. I still love you.
Yeah, so that was that's your good old President's Cup teams as of right now. Now, what did we do over the weekend? Or not over the weekend, I should say, Sunday.
Just Sunday.
What did we do Sunday?
We did a tournament.
Yeah, that's
for disc golf.
Yeah, so that was fun.
Yeah, it was fun.
Let's move on.
No.
No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. It was fun. It was fun. So shout out to Roger. Put on so he holds the A tier event. That's the cool down.
Yes.
These ones are the cool down warm ups.
Yep. It's kind of like the
fundraisers to go towards the actual main A tier event. So it's a C tier event. There's another one coming up. I believe it's in September. That I believe registration for that goes live in July, so next month.
Okay.
But anyway, here in the Northern California event.
Right.
So if you're in the area, check it out.
And really quick shout out to Allison, Cody, Nick, and Jared. They were on my final card, and they are awesome, cool people. I'm pretty sure they probably don't listen to the show, but in case you do,
you never know.
It was awesome being on the card with you guys. You guys are awesome, and you made it a really fun time. So I had a lot of fun. Thank you.
Yeah, I had fun too. I had a really good
Who was
first
on your
round.
Card?
Second card,
See, it's okay. All right. Let's take it in here for a second. Nick, it's super competitive, and when you're in this kind of like realm of being competitive and like going for those like spots. I think that tends to make people a little bit more serious and focused, rightfully so, right? If you're on the podium and you're going for that script, or whatever, you're trying to,
Yeah, because I am playing
first,
MA40, right? Guys. It's not like I'm pro or anything like that.
Yeah, he's old.
So
we're going to leave out the part that I qualify for that now too, but they're way too good for me, so I got to go back to the amateur.
Man.
But when you're in like the lower divisions, not saying that you couldn't be or lower ratings like myself, not that you couldn't be competitive also, but I have found that it seems to be like the groups are a little less serious, not about disc golf in general, but they're not like so competitive and over the top, and like everybody's just having fun. It's a good time. Like everybody's like just enjoying the game, and everybody's being like,
and everybody has their own personalities, right? And characters and
absolutely.
Stuff like that.
You could be competitive, obviously, with yourself, right? Yeah. You're like bad shot, and you're like, man, but generally speaking, the whole group is just having fun, and I really enjoy that because like my skill level right now, let's be serious, I'm not competitive at all. Anyways, maybe I'll get there, but I'm just having fun, and the whole group was just having fun, and it was a blast. I had a lot of fun.
My first round was really good. So here's the thing: we did a couple practice rounds, right?
Yep.
Leading up to the event,
I did way better in the practice rounds.
Yeah, it was held at Johnson Springview Park in Rockland, California. There were times in our practice rounds that I told myself, I literally told myself, I was like, listen, if you're within this distance, let's say not 30, but 20 feet of the basket, you're going for it. I don't care if whatever, go for it, right? My first round started off great. I had a 20-foot, not death putt, but towards the creek on my starting hole. Shotgun start. So, everybody went to their holes.
17?
No, hole 15.
You were in 15.
Did I say 17?
No. I was trying to think
15.
Where you were.
Hole 15. Yeah, anyways. Yeah, so my putt was directly at a basket that it was a hill behind it downwards.
Oh, yeah.
To a creek.
That's a death putt.
And it was about 20, and I cashed it. And then I proceeded to make another 20, 25 maybe foot putt on 16. So it like started off great. It was really good. It's very interesting how much just a little bit of confidence goes, how far it goes. So throughout that round, like my putting was great and everything like that. Everything like there was only a couple things that like I landed in weird spots, but that was kind of my own doing, right? It was like I threw a good shot, but if it was 10 feet to the left, I would have had a better second shot or something on our two temp holes. They're both par fours. Anyways, so had a good round the first round. Actually, surprisingly, because I do not expect this, I get up there and Roger goes, yeah, you're on this hole for round 2. You're on lead card. And I was all, because I know the leader was on my card in the first round.
Right.
And that guy shot 11 down. And I'm like, well, I have no chance for anything. I must be on third card because I'm sitting there thinking, I ended up shooting 5 down, which was respectable for me.
That's pretty good.
Yeah. And for me, 5 to 11, I'm like, there's got to be some 7s, 9, 10, there was a 10 and then it dropped to 5. So somehow I made it on lead card.
All right.
Second round, started off with a birdie again, which was really cool and really nice. But I just flatlined after that kind of. And I'll tell you right now, temp holes. Okay, listen, Roger, I know you're going to hear this at some point here. Okay, listen.
Maybe.
No, he does. He listens.
Does he?
Yeah.
Hi, Roger.
Hey.
Did you leave your feedback yet? I left my feedback.
No, I will. It was really well run. Everything went smoothly. No. Everything was great.
Great. And actually, shout out to Roger real quick. And other TDs, listen up. It was really warm out, at least for the second round that we had.
Yeah.
And I loved this aspect of it because he's thinking about his players. They randomly position just cases of water at different holes.
Yeah. On a C tier.
And it's the small things like that. Like, that's caring for your players. It's going to be hot out. You want to make sure people are hydrated because sometimes people don't think about it, right? And then all of a sudden, oh, crap. Like, I'm really hot right now. I'm kind of thirsty. Like, and what are you going to do? Leave right in the... You're not going to do that, right? You're going to just keep pushing yourself, and that's when bad things happen, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So he's concerned about the players there, right? He doesn't want bad things to happen. Hydrate yourself. Here you go.
Yeah.
Here's some water.
Yeah.
Just little things like that. Like
It helps.
That's
It helps a lot.
awesome.
Those
That's
little things
absolutely
help a lot.
fantastic. So take note. Other
And
TVs,
he
it's awesome.
was direct and to the point at the players meetings too.
Yes,
It was like
very
really quick,
players meetings.
concise, get the information out there, and then go
and
have
then
your fun.
Yep.
But Roger, okay, so the temp holes, the temp
You
holes.
listen to us.
Now it wasn't like, oh, I shot bad and it's your fault. It's not that. It's not that. So don't take this that way. The first temp hole, I just tanked both rounds. I didn't do well. I didn't get to practice them either. So whatever. It shouldn't have been as hard as I made it. So that first temp hole I like that hole, even though I did not play well on it either round. The second one, that tee pad, Roger, we shouldn't have poles, multiple poles, man-made objects in the pathway of your tee shot.
No.
Okay. Now, mind you, what's funny about this? Both my tee shots on that, great.
Yeah.
Both my tee shots on that hole, great. However, it wasn't visually like appealing at all. Like it was an awkward angle. It granted the first shot was more of a placement shot, more of a chip shot than anything. But the other thing was like, dude, I had the second round. Again, my second round, guys, not great. Not completely horrid, but not great, right? Every shot kind of that I had ended up having some weird lie. I had it's just like my shots that I thought were good ended up being behind like a little bit of a branch or brush or my putt, all these little things. And I'm sure you've had those type of rounds.
I think that happened to quite a few people.
Oh yeah. The second round was also more wind too.
Yeah.
There was much more wind on the second round.
Way more headwind on a lot of the holes. So
the one thing that I do want to notate though is on the fairway of the second temp hole, like there were so many holes in the ground.
Yeah, from all the squirrels and stuff.
Yeah, from whatever, ground squirrels, whatever that was, right?
Yeah.
And I hated, like, you have a perfect, your drive's great, but in the actual run-up line, your approach, your motion, the hole is there. So then you have to come at it at a different angle to try to get that same line. It just doesn't work. I would say, just suggestion, again, I'm not angry. It was my fault how I played that second round. I would say just go out on those temp holes and even those things out. Fill in those holes with the dirt that's already been dug out. Just drag it back in so it's actually level. So that way those things don't cause a bad shot for the player. It's the player 100%. It was all your fault with the shot.
Yeah, I have a more extreme opinion. I think take those out. Take the temp holes out. And here's why. C tier. Enough said. You want to do that to B and A tiers? Sure. Absolutely. Go for it. And hey, playing the holes, yeah, it was fun. I actually kind of enjoyed at least the first hole. The second hole, I didn't really like the placement of the tee pad because you had to station a spotter because, I'm concerned about walkers coming this way too with their dogs and stuff.
That's true.
And so it made me a little nervous because it was on a walking path. A paved walking path is my kind of primary concern. Yeah, the poles up there makes it look kind of tacky and not professional. So I'm not really a fan of it anyways. But the safety concern. So at least, you position a spotter up there, you're fine. Okay, all well and good. But this is a C tier. Do you have to make the C tiers harder? Is it actually more fun to play more holes? Maybe. But it's a C tier.
Well, I think I would say the only
one day C tier.
Yeah. 2 rounds, 1 day. Yeah. I would say the only
think temp holes are
thing
necessary.
I think the only thing that comes from that is added players, added fees to push forward to the main.
Because there's
tournament.
2 temp holes?
Yeah, because you have 10 extra players at that point because there's 5 people per card. So that's an extra $300 because no, $600.
Yeah. Okay.
So but again, I agree.
You would do it.
I totally understand what you're saying
because it is a fundraiser.
Yes.
And bottom line is it is a fundraiser. So yeah. Okay, I can see it from that aspect. But personally,
yes,
if I were the TD and I'm not, and I'm never going to be, so I can shut my fat mouth. I wouldn't do it on a C tier. Yeah, it just seems.
But anyways, had a great time. Even after my second round, which again, not happy with.
You did good though.
I did decent.
5 is good.
I finished in 5th, which was, I was surprised. I was pleasantly surprised at that, because after my round, I thought, oh, I dropped like 10 spots, but I dropped from 3rd to 5th.
Yeah.
So surprisingly enough, everybody else had a horrible second round. So
It was
thank you.
It was equally rough for everybody. So.
Yeah. But yeah, shout out to the 2 cards that I played with. It's always fun. I like meeting new people. Everybody's cool. And again, it's kind of the same feel, honestly. Yes, when you've played, I think it comes to this. When you've played a long time and you've played quite a few tournaments over your career, and I don't call my tournaments a career, but over your events, your list of events that you've played, you tend to put more pressure on yourself, and you tend to take it a little bit more seriously. But when you do play MA40, it's much more chill than if you played MA1, because MA1, they're vying to get better, to become pro.
Yeah.
If you're MA40, you're probably not worried about becoming MP40.
Yeah,
Like,
probably not.
Probably not. I mean, if you're doing great, then
Maybe.
Dude, shout out to Dave Hurley.
Yeah.
He decimated everybody.
Right.
He decimated MPO. Like, he shot 26 down.
Right.
He was 25 or 26. I think it was 25. Was it 26? Because it was like he shot a 16 down and a 9, or a 17 and a 9, or something like that. It was crazy.
Yeah.
And the lead on MPO was 22.
Right.
I'm like, geez, man. So,
Right.
Shout out to you guys everybody who won, who placed. Good job.
Yep. Absolutely.
Had a great time.
Yep.
So that was our event on Sunday. And then we can move on to, I guess, the
actual things that people want to hear about, the tournaments that they do care about.
Not our tournaments. Yeah. So 3 events were held over these past 2 weeks. First one being June 7th to 9th, the 2024 Heinola Open. It is a DGPT Europe Silver event.
Yep.
And the winners there, FPO, who won, smashed the course, smashed the field, won by 8, was Silva Saarinen.
So,
yes.
Stop you there, because I know you're going to try to power through it, but I'm not going to let you.
Okay. No, go for it.
She has won how many tournaments in a row?
3?
3, exactly. The Norway Open, the Heinola Open, and the Turku Open.
Yep.
So now, who...
Oh, you didn't... You jumped to that already, but that's okay.
We'll talk about it. But, so she's won
That's
3 in a
crazy.
row,
That's
right?
awesome.
So, yeah, now you know who we're talking about here in a second. But, so she's won 3 in a row. She's on fire, right? Now, who won MPO?
Jakub Semerad, and he won in a playoff at the Heinola Open.
And how many wins is that for him this year?
Overall,
Uh-huh.
I'll say 4.
No, first.
That's his first win?
this year.
Jakub? Really?
The only time he's come close is a second place, and that was in an A tier.
Oh, wow.
Yep.
Because I thought because he is a powerhouse overseas.
Absolutely.
Like he has,
which is why I bring it up, because that surprised the hell. I'm like,
Yeah.
this is his first win?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, honestly, the field across the board is getting
It's
so
getting
good.
tough.
So, like, me
tough.
saying 4 was kind of a shot in the dark. Me hoping, kind of, because
Right.
he's fun to watch. You know what's really interesting? I do notice with the European players, there's a consistent way as how they drive, for the most part. Not all of them, but sometimes the way that they frame their arms when they're on their pullback, they're very like rigid square, like the way that they throw, and it's very like, there's not all of them. Several of them have a very similar style drive off the tee.
Okay.
So pay attention to that. It's interesting. And
Now
of
I'll
course,
watch.
you would think that would probably be a thing, because obviously they're learning over there. They're learning from their pro favorites.
Right.
They're emulating their favorite pros. So like, it makes some sense, right?
Sure.
Yeah. So Heinola Open, Silva Saarinen and Jakub Semerad. We'll jump to the Turku, because the other one is the one we're going to get into a little bit.
Yeah.
Bless you. June 14th to 16th. So just this weekend, the 2024 Turku Open. Right. FPO, as Justin said, was Silva Saarinen again.
So who won last year's?
Oh, at the Turku? I have no clue. You got me on that.
Rachel Turton.
Oh, which is the UK player.
Exactly, which I thought was super interesting.
Yeah.
Now, this tournament, and you can tell disc golf in just this 1 year, especially this event, has grown, because there's some pretty interesting statistics here, and maybe I'll get that after we talk about MPO. But scores alone, Saarinen won by what? -11 was their final score, right?
Mm-hmm.
Turton, when she won last year, -3.
Oh, wow.
Yep.
That's a massive difference.
That is a huge difference, right? And there's other differences too. What do you think the payout was?
Oh, it had
this
to be
year versus last year.
It had to be at least double.
Yeah, more. So
Really?
FPO last year, Turton won $796 for first place.
Okay, $800.
Silva,
Yeah,
$3,382.
So almost 4 times as much.
Now, that's because the pro purse payout overall, what do you think it was last year? Just a guess.
50,000.
Incorrect. It was $21,422.
Oh,
now,
geez. Okay.
the payout for this year for pro purse, what do you think it was?
Then I'm going to say 50.
$58,973.
Oh, okay.
So significantly more.
All right.
However, the amount of players overall really didn't change that much. In 2023, 128 players total played in this event. But this year, only 133.
Really?
So not that many more players. Now, the big difference in players was FPO. Guess how many players played in FPO last year total?
20.
No. 10.
What?
And 1 DNF'd. So 9 total. How many do you think played this year?
30.
25.
Okay, so it increased
By almost
that's
double.
good.
More than
double. Yeah. Okay.
So I thought that was super interesting. And if you want the MPO numbers, the winner last year for MPO was Jesse. How do you say his last name?
Nieminen?
I always mess it
Nieminen.
up. $2,270. The winner this year, which was
Nicholas Antila.
won $8,375.
Wow.
So even that went up.
Well, it just shows you,
Yep.
disc golf is still on the rise, guys. Still on the rise.
But
Still on the rise.
the payout for FPO is more than the MPO was last year. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's significantly gone up in the pro purse payout. Basically, there's a few more in FPO playing now, and as a result, you see that, and I think the field is more competitive, right?
Yeah.
But the payout is larger too, which is pretty cool. It just shows kind of the growth, or at least the popularity of at least this event growing too. And you can kind of see that across the board too, even with the different European tournaments. Like they've kind of grown in popularity even there, right? Which I think it seems like it's more popular there anyways to me, like at least in terms of
Per capita,
turnout, but yeah, per capita turnout. But I thought it was interesting. Some interesting statistics.
Sweet. Okay. All right, guys. So the final event that just happened. Good old Beaver State Fling. This is the one where Nate Doss came back.
When was the very first
these little quizzes,
Beaver State
I
Fling?
don't remember this. So I know it started off probably as an A tier. Well, I mean, it probably didn't start as an A tier, but it was an A tier obviously before it became a pro tour event or a national or whatever it was. First
when it was
one,
called
I'd say
Beaver State
Fling. I'd say 28 years ago.
First one was in Troutdale, Oregon, 2002.
22 years ago.
Yep.
Oh, so I wasn't.
You're pretty
crazy
close.
far
Pretty
off,
close,
but
pretty
okay,
close.
really. 2002, huh?
Mm-hmm.
I know Nate Sexton won one when it wasn't a a tour event. It was just it was an A tier. Yeah. But hey, he won the Beaver State Fling. So
there you go.
Yeah. So okay. So June 7th to 9th again, Beaver State Fling 2024. The distances for the fields, the differences, right? For FPO had a 9,374 foot course. MPO 10,743 foot course. So it was 1,400 feet. Wait, no, I'm off there, right? 1,000 feet? No. Why am I way off right now? 1,400. It was good. Jeez, dude. Numbers are hard. They aren't. I love math. So, okay. You didn't need to know that, I guess, right? But now you know.
Right.
So there's a 1,400-foot difference between FPO and MPO. Some things that I noticed during the coverage was signal is better, but still not great. Still not great out there. Some work needs to be done with the signal. But I am glad that there's no holes cut out. It was just got a little bit grainy, a little bit pixely. The other interesting thing about it is that there were several players that were not there. Obviously, one, you have Kristin Tattar recovering from injury. You have Paige Pierce, who did not show. And Jennifer Allen, who was the previous year's winner. Did not attend. So it left the field open left the event open to a brand new winner. So it was really, really cool that in the aspect that, yes, these other players did not make it, weren't able to make it, that somebody new got to have the limelight. Day one, Zoe... Why am I reading this incorrectly? Why did I write this? Oh, these were things that I found peculiar. That's what it was.
This was your
this was my grinds next gears. Yeah. So day one, okay, Zoe said that a throw in for 3 on the FPO par 5 would be the equivalent for FPO, the equivalent to Philo's albatross.
No.
And that makes 0 sense.
No.
Okay.
That's not
an
what an
albatross is. An albatross.
Yeah.
So it's not. There's no equivalent. The equivalent to an albatross
is an albatross.
Yeah.
So that didn't
2
make
on a
sense
5
to me either.
To 2 on 5. That is what is equivalent. Now maybe the throw was equivalent for a FPO. Yes.
Wise
to Philo's throw.
Right.
It's not. No. A 3 is an albatross. Is an eagle.
An albatross.
A 3 on a 5 is an eagle.
Yes.
Okay. Let's grinds next gears. Okay. So let's clean that up a little bit. You don't need to.
That's probably what she was thinking though.
I like
distance.
Yeah, probably. I like drama. I don't like forced drama. So you don't need to force a storyline.
No.
Just let them happen. Okay.
Sure.
So just let them happen.
Sure.
But again, keep doing what you're doing.
Moral of the story: replace Zoe.
Yeah.
That's what he's trying. That's what he's trying to say.
Okay. So. There was a couple cool things that happened ace wise. Ended up going to the on Sports Center, which is really cool because I have down here that Holly Finley aces hole 13, right? And there was also, I believe there were probably 4 aces on 13 total. But the cool thing about this was that Holly aced hole 13 round 1, and then same day, which was also his birthday,
which is really
her
cool.
Boyfriend aced hole 1.
Yep.
So boyfriend, girlfriend aced on the boyfriend's birthday, or might have been maybe the day before, but near his birthday, they had a couples Sports Center moment, which was
pretty
awesome.
Cool.
Super cool. So shout out to you guys. And everybody else who got an ace on that hole as well.
Absolutely.
And then the other things too was it was pretty, I had a typo there. It was pretty, it was almost soul crushing, the ending of this for FPO.
Okay.
Because Own had it in her hand going into hole 17 with 2 strokes. I believe it was a 2-stroke lead, 2 holes left. Yep. We all know Own doesn't throw the furthest, right? Farthest, whatever.
It was hers to lose at that point.
Holland basically bombs, right? Yep. We know that. So it was on Holland to crawl back. But Own left that door so wide. The back door was open, the front door, all the windows were open because her second throw, she just nosed it down and it just ended up going OB. So she actually recovered, I think, and still had 1 stroke at that point. Yeah. But Holland was on fire with her putting.
Yep.
Her hole 18 putt was insane.
I would argue 60, to say without 50, that OB.
60 feet, dude. Insane. So it went into overtime.
Yep.
Sudden death.
Yep.
1 hole.
1.
Holland takes it down. Holland came back strong 2 holes in the final round, and then ended up taking it down in the playoff, the first hole of the playoff. So shout out to Holland Handley.
Do you like having the playoff event that way versus the other way?
So I'm
kind
of here nor there on this, because I see the fact that if you do sudden death right away, it's quicker, obviously, right? Yeah. Usually quicker.
Well, yeah, usually.
Personally, actually, after thinking about this, just right now, I prefer sudden death.
Right.
I prefer sudden death right from
versus
the first hole after the final round. I do understand the thought of like 3 holes, tally and see what you get after 3 holes,
sure,
and then sudden death. I see what you're doing there, but you shouldn't necessarily need to force them to play 3 additional holes.
Right.
Like,
yeah, I like the aspect of the sudden death just for the quickness.
Yeah. I think it's better for watching too.
I don't mind the other.
Dude, I don't mind
like
it.
Sudden death.
I think it's better to watch
right off the bat.
Immediate sudden death.
Yep.
Because the drama is immediately there.
Right
then and there. The pressure is immediately there.
Right.
So but yeah, so Owen got second and Natalie Ryan got third.
Yep.
We have moving on to MPO. Having the card such as Ulibarri, Wysocki, McBeth, and Doss was so fun to see that first round.
And you could tell they were having a ton of fun.
Yeah, it was like flashback, dude. And I'm sure they felt the same way.
Oh, absolutely.
Like they were just jawing like it was normal back in the day, 6 years ago, or 5 years ago, or whatever it was. Yeah. So, and then also, quick, Noah Fiveash. Fiveash is the one that is Holland's boyfriend. So,
if you didn't know.
Sorry about that.
Yep.
Yeah, so shout out to Noah.
Yep.
So that was cool because that actual final card or that group was the same final card on the final 9 of the 2014 Worlds. So that was cool that they kind of had that little historical aspect of that card for those 4 guys. So big shout out to them.
Right. And to address really quick, because she's going nuts now.
Crazy.
You're hearing the dog going ape crap right now in the background.
Know why.
We're not beating the dog. No. It's we have her
here.
closed up in the room, and she wants to be out right now. And one of the kids is afraid of her, so that's why we have her up. She's a big Great Dane. They'd big dog scared of her. They are scared of her. So she's fine.
So here's another thing, right?
Be out here with us.
Here's another thing. Luke Humphreys Again, he's been so close, and I want to see him win one.
I know.
I want to see him. He's been so close. He took on hole 17 again. Hole 17 just ruined everybody. He took an 8, I think it was, on hole 17. He took a snowman.
Yep.
Whatever it was a 4 over on hole 17 to kind of end his run at this event.
That'll do it.
It again opened it up for Burr.
Yep.
Gannon had a 1-stroke lead after that. And ultimately, Gannon Burr took it down. But did want to shout out again. Come on, man. You're on my skip ace team. Drew, come on, dude. Stop hurting yourself, man. Stop hurting yourself. He rolled his ankle, so he had to DNF. I saw that, and I'm like, no, man.
Hopefully he's okay. I haven't heard an update. I hope it was just a temporary.
A slight. Hopefully it was slight.
Yeah.
But yeah, so winner, Gannon Burr.
How many wins is it this year for Gannon?
I think he has 3.
Incorrect. 4th.
He has 4
this is
now?
his 4th win this year.
Okay. Well, he has these last 2. He took the Oregon sweep, so he took both events in Oregon. And then another person that was kind of right on his heels, which actually by 1, I think he won. Ezra Robinson. So Isaac's brother.
Yeah.
He was cashing from distance too. Like he was playing so strong. It was fun to see him up at the top. And then who tied him in second?
Ricky Wysocki.
I tell you, man, he's got that other gear, dude. That final round.
Yep.
You know?
Again, we've seen him do that how many times this year?
Yeah, too many, man.
Just turn it on right at the end. Like, oh, here he comes.
He has it. It's crazy too, because it's like dude, if you would have just done that in moving day, then you probably would have won today.
Right. Well, I'm sure he's thinking the same damn thing. So,
I'm sure he is. I'm sure he is. But
like,
yeah,
if I could, I would. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, Beaver Safely. I think it's interesting because I think after watching it, I almost feel like the course, it's fun to think about because of the albatross.
Yes.
But watching it, I think again with the signal out there still needs to be again.
It's rough.
It's rough out there. So but that as well as I don't know. I can't say that I can remember what every single hole looks like. And I like those courses like Maple Hill, you can pretty much remember every hole.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like there's way more holes on that course that you can go, oh, that's a signature, that's a signature, that's a signature.
Right.
Than Milo MacIver. However, we still need to get out there and play at some point.
And the difference between playing it and just watching it. Obviously, if you're actually playing it, it'd probably be way more memorable each hole than just watching it,
Yeah, definitely. So so your winners there again, Holland, Hanley, and Gannon Bar.
Yep.
Upcoming events moving forward before our next show. You have June 21st to 24th is the 2024, I want to say Ale Open, but it's probably Ale Open. It's European Silver Series again in Knoll, Sweden. There is June 21st to 23rd, which is again this coming weekend.
Yep.
The Preserve, which I'm excited for you to watch.
I can't wait to watch that one
because that's a really I can already picture several holes on there. I can picture the starting hole right now. Yeah. That's another course that I think Kale did a fantastic job of helping design. So that one is coming up. That is in Clearwater, Minnesota. You have June 28th to 30th, the following weekend, right before our next show, 2024 Swedish Open, and that is in Borås, Sweden. So those will be your bigger events, the big events.
Right. There's tons in between there. But those are the major
there's
events.
So many events now across the board. Like
tons.
There's like hundreds every weekend.
Yeah. I'm looking through the list because obviously I was going back and grabbing stats and stuff.
It's crazy, dude.
Oh my gosh, the amount that are there.
Crazy. Yeah. And what's crazy about that is then I look at just our area and I'm like, where are all our events? I want to play some more. But yeah, they're more and more.
Absolutely. Which is great.
So we'll move on to, I had a couple, but you kind of already mentioned one of them or answered one of them.
And that's fine.
Okay. So here's a question.
All right. Hit me with it.
To break a tie. This was brought up on a tweet that I saw. A gentleman posted a tweet to Brody, and he said, to break a tie, instead of the PDGA number to break that tie moving into the next round, or the instead of the points, like if somebody ties, usually it goes to who shot the better round, right? That's good. But what if both those people shot the same? Both events or both rounds, right?
Right.
What if it's decided by DGPT tour points instead? Does that make more sense than just saying you've got a lower number, you get to go ahead?
You know what? End of the day, man, it's all the same. It's some random number pulled out of somebody's butt. Does tour points really matter versus your PDGA? Did they play in the same amount of tour event? Doesn't matter. It's just some random number that they're using to make a decision.
Yeah.
Is one better than the other? It's all subjective, dude.
Yeah.
We could sit here and say, well, I think this one's better and I think this one's better, or maybe they should use this. Well, maybe if that guy's younger than the other one, then they have a clear disadvantage. Like, who cares? It's just a number that's pulled out. They decided, you know what? PDGM, that's how we're going to do it. If you've been with us longer, then you get a slight advantage in case this scenario comes up. Rarely happens.
It's really only I want to say it's most likely literally for the first round,
right?
Because the probability of somebody, and it's happened, the probability of people having the same first round and the same second round,
right,
is probably pretty stinking rare.
Yeah. So whichever number you use,
I just thought I just found it curious because I do understand that in looking at it as an aspect of. So they have a lower number. But
does it mean anything?
But my tour points show that I'm doing really well, and I might be doing better than this person, so maybe I get the nod. That's how I was looking at it.
If they've played in the same exact events.
Well, it doesn't matter. You have the ability to sign up for as many events as you want. It's on you to sign up for those events.
Right.
You know what I mean? So but yes,
does it matter?
I see what you're saying. No, ultimately it doesn't.
Right.
I just found it curious.
Right. Like, you know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't really think it matters, but it's an interesting question to think about. But I think at the end of the day, choose something and do that, and that's what they did.
Here's actually here. I'll switch up this other question.
Okay.
Do you think there should be a standard for C tiers and how many holes an event has?
Yes.
And if so, what?
18.
Okay. All right. So no 27 hole events. No. That's reserved for B and A.
Yep.
What about? Here's a question. What about Pro Tour? Do you see them having, or being allowed to have 27 hole events?
Yeah. Why not?
See, I would almost go backward. I would almost go reverse.
Yeah.
I would almost go just because, again, time wise to watch, like for the viewer, it would be
that
fun.
That is a consideration.
Because,
yeah.
But 27, I would love to see my favorite athletes play all the time and more, but it's wear and tear on their body and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And the time it takes to video and actually all that stuff.
Then there's recovery to get to the next event.
Exactly.
It's like,
yeah. And practice. You have to practice 27 holes.
Sure.
You know, so do you think maybe this is something that goes by the way? Like for any event, should it just kind of be narrowed down to, hey guys, you know what? If you want to have a longer course, then have those 10 holes, but combine some of the others to make it 18.
Sure.
You know what I mean? So it's a solid 18's the count, but your distance changes.
You're looking at like tiers. If it's a C tier, that's a pretty low tier.
Yeah.
So why are you extending that? Get it over and done with. But I understand specifically for the event that we played in,
it was a fundraiser
one. Yeah, okay. I'm actually, that's more acceptable to me than just a normal C tier that's not a fundraiser event.
Yeah.
Just make it 18. That's the standard, right? Yeah. You know?
All right. Sounds
that's
good.
Just me. I'm sure there's tons of people that disagree. Leave your comments down below and tell me why you think Nick is wrong.
Nick at
discgolfshow.com.
All right. Yeah.
That pretty much wraps it up for the end of the show. Quick reminder, discdrifters.com. Let's say you're going to plan yourself a trip. Maybe it's a road trip. Maybe you're going to fly there. Maybe you need to rent a car. And ultimately, maybe you need to stay somewhere and you need to look up a hotel to stay at. Well, guess what? On select properties, you could save yourself some money if you used a little code on checkout called Disc Golf Show, all together, kind of one word there. You save yourself up to 15%. I mean, if you're going to plan the trip anyways, you might as well save some money. 25%. I'm sorry.
Even better.
Even better. That's 10% more than what I just told you. It got better instantly. Isn't that great? Just for you, because you watch the Disc Golf Show. What is 15% off is this next code, Disc Golf Show. Weird. It's kind of weird how we do that. Yeah. For Upper Park Disc Golf, if you're in the market for a bag or some cool swag, take a look at the catalog at Upper Park Disc Golf and save yourself some money.
Yep.
15%.
That's more than tax, which is
good. Like the 10%. I mean, that's fine, right?
Okay.
But 15%.
Yep.
Even better. By 5%.
Exactly.
This episode is brought to you in part again by Final Nine Sports with their 2 locations, one in Orangeville, one in Rockland. If you'd like to contact us, please email us at theshow@discgolfshow.com with your inquiries. Make sure that you're hitting that subscribe button for us. It really does mean a lot to us. We're getting there. And when we reach that certain number, we're doing a giveaway.
We're really close, guys.
We're really, really close.
Yeah.
We're going to be doing that here any moment. And just a reminder, in disc golf as in life, aim high and let it fly.